Welcome to another episode of Keep Creating. I'm Kim Parkinson, and I'm fresh from the 2015 Winter CHA show. This year, it was all about the glitz and glam. From glitter paste to glitter tape and all sorts of different types of foils, I have lots to show you. Join us in just a moment, and I'll show you some of the samples that I saw at the show this year.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Welcome back. We are going to be taking a look at some of the things that I picked up at this winter's CHA show in Anaheim, California. So I went and took a demo at a booth for Bo Bunny, and Bo Bunny had this really cute little make and take that they were doing. Some of the new product that they were introducing were some of their pearl pens, something that's very similar to this. You open it up and you can squeeze out these little dots right here. They have just a little bit of texture to them when they're dry. Take a few minutes to dry, but once they're there, they add just a little bit extra to your piece. Then we also have from Bo Bunny some glitter paste, some glitter paste. And the glitter paste here, I have the clear here, but it comes in a couple of different colors and different varieties. Paste, anything to do with mixed media, glitter, any types of texture are all very, very popular right now in the crafting world. Now on to another thing that I happened to see at CHA. We also have much more glitter, and that is here. We have this little cute little, I think it's like a little iPod case, or I actually used it for my phone during the show while I was in the show floor. And they used a type of glitter iron-on, and we have something very similar to that we had picked up at the show. And you can see this is like a very glittery, and it's actually a tape. So it works wonderfully. It actually sticks to itself and sticks to any project that you might have. Now this would be something very similar to that. You can see it sticks nicely, it holds very well, and it just is a nice little touch to any of your card making, altered art projects, or anything like that. Another thing that we also saw at the show was a little bit of these new glazes. Now, I have a sample here made by one of my instructors. This is a piece of plastic paper that she had placed a peel off on top of. And then what she did is she went ahead and she colored in each one of these with this new Stays On Studio Glaze. Again, anything that has to do with texture, this is also the Studio Glaze, texture or shine, or anything that is great for not only card making, scrapbooking, but mixed media was very popular this year at the show. Now, the the Studio Glaze comes in a variety of different colors, as you can see. She's used several of them here. And you can see the nice shine that it adds. I think that the camera's picking that up there. It's got a really nice little shimmer and shine to any of your projects. This one here was just done on plain white paper that we have embossed. And then again, this one here was on the plastic paper. So you can see there's a definite different direction that they're going with each of these. Now, one of the projects that I want to show you today is some of the very most popular things that happened at the show. This year was the year of foil. Now, all sorts of different companies came out with foil. This one here happens to be by Heidi Swap. This was a sample that they gave me at their booth. You can see it was kind of fits right on there, but when they have it and it's all done. It has this nice foil type look to it. Now, they took these words, printed them out on their laser printer at home, and then they used their machine to actually add the foil right onto that. The carbon heats up in the process, and then what happens is the foil will actually stick to that carbon. So I'm going to show you an at-home version of that right now and how to do that. So I have printed a happy birthday right here from my home printer. I took this to Staples, and I can tell you that the Staples that I brought it to needs a little bit more toner in their printer, so you need to know that too. I can tell that because when I hold it on an angle, it's definitely shiny in some areas and shiny in not shiny in other areas. So that is something to note when you are looking to do this technique at home. I'm going to take a piece of foil that I have, and in this case I am using the Deco foil. Deco foil come in little tubes like this. There are all sorts of different types of foils. Ranger makes foil, Cooltech makes foil, Heidi Swap makes foil. As I said, everybody makes foil now. Foil was hugely popular. I'm going to place this foil right on top of where my words are, and I'm going to place it into a sandwich. And in this case, my sandwich is just a plain piece of paper. And I'm placing that right inside just like that with the foil still on top. And then if you want to follow me over here, I just have a laminating machine already heated up for us. And we're just going to send that right through. And you just give it a little push and it will actually pull that right on through. So while I'm doing that, I'm also going to tell you that I was able to do this with die cuts. So this was a die cut of a butterfly that I have here, and we were able to achieve this with the help of the ThermoWeb, the fusing here. I have actually done the fusing for us again today, so you can see. So what I have done is I took the fusing, ran it through, and placed it onto cardstock. Then I used my Cuttlebug machine to cut out these little coffee cups. On top of this, I know that you can't see that, but it's definitely there. On top of this is a little bit of like a vellum, I should say, here. And this one happened to just peel right off, which was nice. If you have a problem with peeling it off, you can actually take your little pokey tool and just pull that. See that, how easily that comes right off? That's the excess right there. And I have one more. Now I might not use all three, but show you how easy it is that these come right off there. And now I am going to put these through the laminating machine as well. Meanwhile, this one has already been completed, and you can see I have this here. And I don't know if you can see that so far. It kind of looks all wrinkly. That's okay. When we peel this off, you can see that the foil has stuck to the toner, and you have this beautiful little happy birthday all done up in the foil. You can see the leftover pieces there. Now don't throw this leftover pieces out, because these are great for little things such as our little coffee cups. So I'm just going to cut out this little piece here that said happy birthday. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this over. Place that open. Here on the coffee cups, I know it's difficult to see on the camera, but there is definitely one side that is shiny and one side that is maybe less shiny or paper. So you want it to stick to the shiny. That's actually the adhesive there that you're going to see. So we're going to place those right inside. We'll do all three if we can. If not, then we'll move it and then we'll see how we can. Oh yeah, that's going to fit perfectly. So I'm going to place those right inside just like that. Cover those over. Pick it up gently and then move it over to the machine and let the machine do the work while we work on the next part of our project. So I have here just a piece of cardstock that I'm going to fold in half, very simply. And I have what I think is going to be like a nice background. I think this looks a little like wallpaper to me. And I have some adhesive here. We're going to place that right on top. Again, this is just going to be a simple little project with a couple of different ways to use foil. We have this And another one there just to keep it down. Now this is one of those adhesives that once you put it down, you do need to peel off the backing. There's all sorts of different types of adhesive out there. You could even use a glue stick or something like that for this project. And we are just going to place that straight down on top of our white card. Now this is exactly the same size, so I just have to be careful when I measure this that I get it just right. There we go. And then we're going to put our little base down. Now this is going to be like my table, faux table. It's got a little bit of a wood pattern to it. Now I do see that our pieces are done. I'm just going to wait till I'm done here. You do not need to. You could take it directly out of the laminating machine right away. If you do not have a laminating machine, you could also use an iron. That's easy enough to do. I'm going to take that, peel those right off as well. And then I'm going to make sure I'm on the right side. I'm going to place that right down. There we go. So now I'm going to grab my little coffee cups. I think one of them was a tea mug. And actually you can already see them, which is kind of cool. I think you can hopefully see that in the little piece there. You don't have to give it a little rub, but sometimes I like to because sometimes it has a little bit of texture to it. And I'm going to peel those right off. And look at how nice and simple those came off. Now mine are kind of stuck to the paper. There must have been a little bit of adhesive on the paper, which is one of the reasons why I had flipped it over before. But we're just going to peel those off nice and gentle. And we have our little coffee mugs for our project. Now the next part of the project that I want to show you, again, this is all about foil because super popular at the show. Another thing that was very popular, anything to do with home decor. But really, you could use foil for your home decor as well. I think that would make a perfect addition to your wedding invitations, a baby card, anything like that. So I just put a little piece of that same adhesive that we used on the back right across the top of what I'm going to make my table. I'm going to peel that right off. And this time I have, there we go, I have a piece of silver foil, and I'm just going to place that right down on top of it and show you how easy this is. I'm going to place that down. I'm going to just use my finger to what I call burnish that down like that, and then peel that up. Not the whole thing, just, there you go. Just the foil part. There we go. And we have just a little bit of an edge to our table. Okay, you can see that there. And now I'm going to place my little coffee cups. Oh, isn't that cute? It's a good little, maybe I'll just do one coffee cup. It's part of the whole process, right? Creating different ways to do it. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back. Be a good card to make for someone that wasn't feeling well, or if you wanted to meet them for a coffee, or if you wanted to go out with them for something else. So you can see I have just put a little coffee cup on there. Isn't that adorable? It's coming along really nicely. So one other thing that I will show you for this here is, I think I'm going to add just a little bit of foam. So these are foam dots, but they're in shapes. I don't know if you can see that from the camera angle there. But they're foam dots, and they come out in different shapes. This one just happens to be a butterfly. This one is the garden collection. And I'm going to place that right about maybe here, just as another element to my card. And I'm going to peel that right off. And because I've used some silver and gold, we're going to go ahead and let's see, what do I got? Some more silver here. I'll put some silver butterfly. Place that right down. And again, just kind of burnish it just a little bit. Really simple, really easy. And gently peel it off. This time, just a little tug here and there. There we go. You can see how they have finished that off right there. So another project, or I'm sorry, another product that they had introduced at CHA was a product called Amplify. And this is a puffy paint, for lack of a better term. Here's a sample that I did, and you can see how it puffs right here. And the reason why I'm showing you this, which is kind of out of the context of our pretty little card, was because I have some white puffy paint that I'm going to use as the steam for my cup of coffee. So I have my cup of coffee here, or you could make it cocoa or anything like that. And I have the Amplify, And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to color in just a little bit inside of here. And then I'm going to have to do this upside down here. I'm also going to just give a little swirl right like that. Now, when I go ahead to heat this in just a little bit, what's going to happen is it's going to puff and it's going to create this beautiful look, very similar to these type things here, which is really great for exactly for what I'm using it for, like a coffee cup or a coffee mug or something like that. So if I let this sit overnight, the Amplify that is, if I let the Amplify sit overnight, I'm going to get itty bitty little bits of puff. If I was to go ahead and heat this right now, I'm going to get those big ginormous puffs. So we'll just let this sit for a few moments and let that dry on its own, and then we'll come back and we'll heat that right up.
If you keep tanning, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org.
Welcome back. So we have let our Amplify dry just a little bit here, and we're going to actually just go ahead and heat this so that we get that nice little puff, and then our card will be completed. So I have pulled out my heat gun, and I'm going to just go ahead right on the top. Now it does make a little bit of a noise, just so you know. I'm going to heat that right on top, and it does get hot. It's about 140 degrees. You can see that already working. I don't know if I can get a close-up view of that, but already given a little puff, and we're going to just give a little bit more. I guess this is going to be a little bit of a hot cocoa mix since there's a little bit of white in your coffee mug. Add that right there. There we go, and you can see how really beautiful that little texture added to your card is. So it's just another little bit that you can do for all these different types of foils and the different techniques that you can use with them. Now, one other thing that I wanted to show you that hasn't been done in a little while is actually using mica flakes. So this is our gold leafing flakes, I guess is maybe what you might want to call it. You have these little flakes of color in here. I just happen to have this in this little container to try to keep them contained. And we can't keep them in this little plastic tote. And the reason being is that they will fly everywhere. And you don't want to waste them either. Now I have gone ahead and I have die cut this beautiful Tiffany frame from Memory Box, and I've die cut this with a little bit of adhesive on the top of it. Now you're going to see the technique that we're going to use is something very similar to this one here. I don't know if you can see this here. This is the technique with just a little bit of some foil on top of a die cut. So this foil technique actually uses flaked foil. I'm going to take my little piece that's already sticky at the top. I already peeled off all the pieces there. I'm going to place that right inside of here. And the reason being is that I want it to stay contained. And I have my little foil that I'm going to open up. And my little flakes of foil, place those right inside. And I can probably do this a little bit more out so you can see it just a little bit better. And then we'll put it in to get it so that it's stuck on. You can see it just will stick right onto the piece here. See how it's already sticky? And this is going to be beautiful when it's done. It doesn't look like much now, but it's going to be beautiful. And again, this is a technique that's been done for a long time, but it's just come back again. I think a lot of the crafters find that what is old is new again, and you might even have some of this at your own house because it has been around. You might call it gold leafing, they call it foiling, they call it a bunch of different things now. So now I have just added a little bit of that right on top of my entire frame, and I'm going to place this again right inside just so it doesn't go flying. I have this little stencil brush, and it's just a tiny little tip, but it's nice and flat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of, I know you can't see that, but I'm just going to do this little technique where I kind of just rub like this right inside. Can you see that already happening there? We'll get some of this inside here. We'll see. I Actually, maybe if I could use it here, we can see that a little bit better. Look how beautiful that's coming out already. I just have to keep my eye on it because I don't want to rip the die cut, although I did use a cardstock first as my base before I used the adhesive. And then, of course, now I'm using the foiling on top. And you can just see how nice and simple that comes out. And it's just really stunning when they're done. Oh, there's a little piece that didn't come out. Look at that. That happens. Easy enough. We'll just pop that out later. And almost done there. Just got a little bit more. Now this particular one is a variegated foiling, a variegated leafing if you want. So it's got a couple of different colors to it. I'm going to just take that and see if I can get that all off there. Oh, that's going to be gorgeous. I don't know if you can see that already. See how beautiful that is, how nice and shiny that is. And now this would easily just be attached to your card with just a little bit of adhesive, of a liquid adhesive, I would think, using your fine line applicator. Now I have not completely done this. Let me get a piece here, piece of paper, and we'll get this underneath. Can you see how beautiful that is? Isn't that wonderful? And I'm just going to go ahead and nice and gently just take that stipple brush and finish off any extra. You can see how much is coming off. And then the thing is, one of the reasons why I do keep it in there, not only just because it flies everywhere, but also because when we do this, everything is reusable. You don't want to throw away any of this foil. So all these little bits and pieces will just stick to the next project that you have that you put inside. Now I have seen the very first foiling project I ever did, someone actually covered a little mini creature for me. So they just used a little bit of a wet type glue adhesive. This is a Duo, which is the embellishing adhesive. It goes on wet and very milky. It's very liquidy, but when it dries, it's clear and it's got a nice tack to it, and so all of this will stick on. Also, what will stick on is the foil that we've used today as well. So you can see how this nice, beautiful Tiffany frame has turned out. Let me just place that right inside. You can see there's absolutely no waste. You just keep all of that. Put that all in, and then I do suggest that you keep it all in one area and try to maintain it because it does get everywhere. Let's see if we can gently wrap that up. There you go. Otherwise it'll be flying all over the place. It comes out beautifully, but does need a little bit of attention when you get to the actual usage of it. So I wanted to show you a couple of projects that we've done with the foiling already here at Kept Creations. So other than these ones that we've done today, I'll just place these here. We have a couple of others that I want to show you. So if you want to take a look at those. I have done an ATC card, and this is my latest ATC card. Some of the groups that meet here are artist trading cards and inchies. We also have an altered art group that meets here, and a couple of other groups that like to come. If you can see from the monitor, I can see that you can see the little bit of gold on there. That actually was done with a stamp, and that was also done with the foil, right? Adding that right on top of my ATC card. Now an ATC card is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. That's the only requirement to an ATC card. You are not supposed to sell your ATC cards, although some people do, and they're called a different name, art cards, I believe, something like that. So I have some samples that I want to show you of some artist trading cards that we have done here at Kept Creations. And not all of them were done with foil, but many of the women that come to these have done a beautiful job with their artist trading cards. This was one that we had done in January, and it was labeled Winter. So Winter Blues had some beautiful different cards. Now, this is just a baseball card holder in a little binder because that's the easiest way to maintain these and keep them so that you can look at them. Now we have all of these here on display at all times at the store. So if you've ever wanted to come in and take a look, we actually have 3 binders full of these beautiful cards that we have traded over the years that we've been open, as well as years previous to being open. We had a group that met before that. And you can just see some of these beautiful ones. Oh, this is just a little St. Patrick's Day one that we had done before, so it must have been a Valentine or something like that before that. Crowns was in the other month. And then we have some others that are coming up here. On the back, I don't know if you can see these. I don't really have authorization to show you everybody's backs, but this one here, down here, is mine. And so you can see that what here, I usually put my name on it, and then I also put whatever the theme is. In this particular case, it was women's fashion accessories. And then I put the date that I made the card or that I swapped the card. Now, some people also put the numbers, so they'll put like 1 through 12 or 14. That's a typical amount of people. And then if you looked, I'll show you mine on the front. So I just happened to do in this particular one some fingernails and also just decorated that up. So that was the women's fashion. So just a couple of other ones that I'll show you along the way. We only have a few more minutes of the show, but I just wanted to show you some of the beautiful artwork that some of the wonderful ladies do here at Kept Creations. We do meet the last Thursday of every month, and ATC's changes every month. Every month we have a different theme. The theme for March is celebrities, so I imagine we'll get a lot of collage images from the local People's magazine. And just some people are really go outside the box. Some people do a lot of coloring. Some people just really think about what they want to add onto their projects. Oops, I'm gonna have to fix that one. Shh, don't tell. We have all sorts of different ones. Happy birthday must have been the theme. We always do something with the, around the holidays, we always do something holiday-ish as well. So it's just a couple of different ideas that we have for our ATCs. And I hope that you have enjoyed some of the projects that we have made here today using foils and some of the other types of very popular things that I have seen at CHA this year.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Keep Creating. I hope you enjoyed a little walkthrough of the 2015 Winter CHA show and a little bit of the tutorial on making this card, as well as a little preview of what our ATC Artist Trading Card Swap is all about. If there's anything that you'd like to see on Keep Creating, please send us an email at keptcreations@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Kim Parkinson, and keep creating.